Our story this morning is John Murray Sailed Over the Ocean, which was created for the Spirit Play program by Ralph Roberts.
John Murray sailed over the ocean.
Well, here's the ocean.
From England he sailed o'er the sea.
Here's England. I wonder what's on the other side of the ocean from England.
The ship he was on hit a sandbar. The wind would not let it go free. John Murray made land in New Jersey to see what he could see.
John Murray was born in England, and there he became a minister. He rode around from city to city teaching people how to love each other and love God. Many of the people where John lived believed that God punished people, sometimes in horrible ways. They also believed that God only cared about a very few people. But John couldn't believe that God was angry and punished people. In fact, he believed that God was loving. He also had a hard time believing that God only loved a few people. God was so big and so loving. John was certain that God loved all people. John traveled around, letting people know that God loved them and that God loved all people and that God wasn't angry and wasn't going to punish them. But people couldn't always believe John. They would get so angry at him that they would tell him to leave their towns. John finally decided that he was done with preaching. He had many sad things happen to him, and on top of that, people didn't like hearing that God loved them. John decided he wasn't going to preach anymore. He also decided that he was going to leave his country, which was England, and take the long journey to America.
Sail on, sail on, sail on, John Murray, sail on, sail on.
John got a job on a boat, which was sailing for America. It was a long trip. Meanwhile, there was a man in America named Potter. Potter was a farmer who owned a lot of land. Potter started having strange dreams. He began to think that God was talking to him in his dreams. Mr. Potter had a dream in which God told him that he needed to build a church building on his land near the ocean, and that God would send a preacher who would come and preach from that pulpit. God also told Mr. Potter that the preacher would preach a wonderful message of love that would change people's hearts. Mr. Potter did as he was told in the dream. He built a church building, and then he waited. I wonder if the minister will ever come. I wonder who that minister is. The boat on which John Murray was sailing finally made it to America, but the water got shallow and the boat got stuck just offshore. They had been traveling for a long time and had begun to run out of food. So the captain of the ship asked John to go ashore and buy some food to bring back to the boat. John came to shore. And where was he? He was on Mr. Potter's land, and he ran into Mr. Potter.
On landing he met Thomas Potter, who owned his own church in a vale.
And Potter met John saying the strangest thing. He said, "You are the preacher who will speak the good news from the pulpit I have built." John didn't know about Mr. Potter's dream that he was to build a chapel and that a preacher would come and preach God's love. But as strange as it all was, John liked Mr. Potter and spoke with the man for a long time. He finally admitted that he was a minister, and though at first he didn't want to, John finally agreed to preach that Sunday. That Sunday, he climbed into the pulpit and told people there to go out and give people a glimpse of God's love. Give them not hell, but hope. John didn't stay with Mr. Potter, but he did stay in America, and he did start preaching again. He founded many churches devoted to spreading the message of love.
Preach on, preach on, preach on, John Murray, preach on, preach on.
I wonder if Mr. Potter ever worried that the preacher would never come. I wonder which part of this story seems the most interesting to you. I wonder if you've ever had a dream that made you do something important.